I've helped generate more than $26 million in distributed revenue for e-commerce brands. And in this video, I'm breaking down the exact SMS strategy we used to generate an extra $5 million just this year so far. Because if you're like most 7, 8, or even 9-figure D2C brands, they're probably just collecting SMS information in a pop-up forum, send a discount code, and then only use SMS when there's a sale. And that's why the channel never becomes predictable. We on average get 98% open rates on SMS because SMS gets close to guaranteed visibility. But most brands either barely use SMS or they destroy it by sending constant promotions, long messages, and irrelevant offers. This exact strategy that I'm about to go over helped one of our clients generate an extra $1.2 million just this year without increasing discounts at all or blasting the entire list every single day. So I'll show you how to grow your list, structure your campaigns, build out your flows, control your costs, and turn SMS into a reliable revenue channel. And by the end, you'll have a full system you can copy into your Klaviyo account. So let's get into it. So first, let's get into why SMS even works. So the reason SMS is so effective compared to email marketing is that your customers are getting over 100 emails a day. But SMS, they're getting a few from their friends, maybe from a coworker. So it is a much less crowded channel. And it's also sitting right beside friends and family. So they check SMS all the time. Your customers probably have notifications on as well. So it's a very easy way to reach your customers, which is why SMS on average has an open rate of 98%. And when you build a system that captures SMS opt-ins, welcomes them to your brand, build out your automated flows, and are sending consistent campaigns, you could take full advantage of one of the most effective marketing channels in the world. So let's get into getting that SMS information. So what you want to do in your pop-up is separate the email opt-in and SMS opt-in into two separate steps. So most pop-up forms ask for way too much at first. They're going to ask you your name, your email address, your phone number. That's just too much. You're going to overwhelm the customer. That's why most brands are stuck with an opt-in rate of just 2 or 3%. Instead, you want to separate email and phone into two separate steps. Adding more fields is going to create a drop-off. So let's look at what IM8 is doing. So they have email first, and then later on you get this pop-up that says finish signing up for messages to activate your free gift. And then over here you can enter your phone number, click here to activate your offer. But you'll notice they're only asking for the phone number. They've already asked for the email. So this is very low friction. They're only asking for one more piece of information from the customer. And another reason why it works so well is because they say enter your number to activate your discount. So they're not offering anything extra, but what they are saying is that if you want to get that offer that they promised you, if you want that 30% off plus those free gifts, you have to enter your number and activate your discount. So this structure is how you can maximize not only email opt-ins, but get as many of those people to also opt in with SMS. And then once you've got good opt-ins, then you have to welcome the customer to your brand. So your SMS welcome flow only needs a couple messages. I typically do 3 for our clients. And the typical structure is SMS number 1 just delivers the offer. Welcome to the brand. Here's your offer. Here's a link. The second one reminds them and has a bit more about the brand, maybe one benefit, or they talk a little bit about the main product that you're selling. And then the third one is a pure last chance reminder. So let's check out this welcome for one of our clients. So the first one just welcomes them to the brand and gives them the discount while also funneling them to the quiz. The second one tells them a bit more about the quiz and how they can figure out what's causing their hair loss. Then again, the quiz. And the final one is a last chance reminder. So reminding them other 15% off with the subscription and once again sending them to the site. And what you don't want to do is send a long drawn out brand story. Remember, with SMS, it's a very personal channel. It's with friends and family and people they love and care about. So you don't want to be over promotional. You don't want to be sending long blocks of text. Just keep it simple and keep it concise. Otherwise, no one's going to read it and you're probably going to get unsubscribed. Save all of that content for email marketing. You almost always want these to just be one SMS. You don't want to double your cost and be sending two. Maybe once in a while in the welcome flow or an abandonment, but for the most part, keep it concise. Next is campaigns. So for SMS, you should send 1 or 2 campaigns per week and focus on messages that deserve immediate attention. So something like a sale, a launch, a restock, some sort of new offer, a real deadline. So your highest value, highest quality messaging should go here. You don't want to be using this for nurture. You don't want to be using this for education. Save that for email marketing Just use SMS to give people the most important information. And there are two messaging styles that you can use. One is standard. You've seen this all the time. So, summer sale is live, save 20% off here. So, just stating the offer. Very simple. The next is conversational. So, like a real person, a real representative sent a message offering help. Jake here, do you have any questions? Do you want to call back? I saw you were browsing. Do you need any help? So, a message like that is a great way to get responses, get feedback from your customers. And it's also a great way to let your customer support team act like a sales team and get them to talk to the customer and get them to buy. So, here's two examples, both for the same client. So, this one is very simple. This is from a flow, and it's just get your engagement rings and both of your wedding bands and shop now. So very simple standard SMS. This should be about 70 to 80% of your messages. Then another 20% should be like this. So this is a conversational style messaging. It's from a real person. It's from Delphine. And this one is offering a call back. So reply call and we'll call you back soon. So this is great, especially for higher AOV brands where people like to talk to a real salesperson. So like think jewelry or furniture. For lower AOV, it's typically better just say any questions or do you need any help and converse over text. So these are the two main variations, and always keep it very concise. One message, one CTA, one link if you're sending standard, and no links if it's conversational. Just keep it purely conversational. You are not promoting, you're just trying to start a conversation with the customer. By the way, if your DTC brand is doing at least $50,000 a month and you want my team to build and manage this entire email and SMS system for you, click the first link in the description to book a call and see if we're a fit. Now, the next step is where most of your automated revenue will come from, and that is your SMS flows. So there are a couple core flows. You don't need dozens of automations. You just need these four where customer intent is already high. So the first one is welcome. So we already went through this, but just offer, reminder, and then deadline. Next is win back. So this is for customers who purchased maybe 30 or 60 days ago, but they've not bought again. So this is when you tell them about something new or you give them a stronger offer. And then the next one is abandonment. So this isn't just one flow, this is a couple. So this is your site, browse, cart, and checkout abandonment. So this is for people who get onto your site, and depending on which one of them they've browsed, they've added to cart, or they started checkout. So these are higher intent customers, and you want to send them just one text at that moment. Never go above one. That is against US law. You're limited to just one for abandonments. And then the final one is back in stock. So if your products go out of stock very often and you have a back in stock opt-in, just send one immediate product alert. And then every single one of these SMSs should be focused on creating some sort of action. So the email should announce and it should explain. That's where you get into the offer in detail, show off some bestsellers, and do a lot of nurturing. SMS, just state the offer, state any deadlines, keep it short, and just create the action. And then together, they're going to close the customer. So email and SMS working together just like this is what creates action. And then the next part about the system is segmentation and measuring your profit. So with email, you could be very aggressive. Email is basically free, and even 8-figure brands are not spending more than a few $1,000s a month on Klaviyo. It's absolutely nothing at that scale. But SMS can really add up. You're spending 1 cent for every single SMS message you're sending. So you have to make sure that there is an ROI to every cent. You cannot just send very aggressively like with email. You cannot send to people that haven't engaged in weeks or in months, or people that signed up a year ago and haven't bought. With email, as long as deliverability is good, you could do that. But with SMS, if you are too aggressive, you're going to run into this type of situation. So you'll notice that over here, we have this exact same SMS split into 4 segments. So these are buyers versus non-buyers, and we split them into 100-day engaged and 101 to 200-day engaged. And then what you could see here is that almost all of the purchases came from this. So this one message, 100-day engaged buyers. We had another sale from 100-day engaged non-buyers, but absolutely nothing going past 100. So these messages cost the brand money, and they're not getting any ROI from this. They were previously sending to a very wide list. I split it out, and now we're seeing that there's no ROI. They were just donating money to posts. So make sure that when you're sending SMS, you do segment, you do split by prospects and by customers and subscribers, and make sure you are not sending to anybody who is lapsed. unless there's a real reason to return. So maybe a new offer for Black Friday or a new launch. But typically, you want to keep your segments pretty narrow and make sure you're getting a good ROI. The ROI will depend on the brand and what makes sense, but typically, you want your earnings per message to be about 10 to 20 cents at least. For buyers, you could be even more aggressive, maybe 5 cents at that point. You've paid for the acquisition cost on Meta. So you could spend a bit more to get people to buy again and still be profitable. But for non-buyers, you definitely want to be in the 10 to 20 cents per message range. And keep in mind that attributed revenue is not enough. A campaign can look successful, it could drive a lot of revenue, but high cost can make your margins very weak or even cause you to lose money on a send. So that can make it very inefficient, and you do not want to be doing that. Now, the reason SMS works so well and why this entire system that I've just described works so well is because it gets attention. But attention alone is not going to create any revenue. Your SMS messages need to have a strong offer, good timing, a clear call to action, and be sent to the right audience. So treat it like a high priority channel for your best messages, not like your email inbox. So now you know the exact SMS system we've used to generate $1.2 million this year for one of our clients, from list growth and welcome messages to campaigns, automation, segmentation, and even cost control. But understanding this strategy and actually implementing it across every customer touchpoint are two completely different things. And that gap is exactly what we help brands fix at Avanta Marketing. We build and manage your entire backend retention system, including Klaviyo, SMS, lifecycle strategy, and even subscription strategy. So if your brand is doing at least $50,000 a month, click the first link in the description and book a call to see if we're a fit. And if you want to see exactly how we build a high converting welcome flow, click the video on the screen right now.